Hey friends, it's Simon Hurley from Inklipse here, and welcome to another video. I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I'm super excited to share a really special video with you guys today. So I had ordered something a little while back from my inks from Stampin' Storage, and I absolutely love Stampin' Storage units. As you all know, I have created a couple videos in the past with my marker storage and lots of different ink pad storage that I have in this room with Stampin' Storage. And that's just because I really do believe in their products. I love the high quality wood that they use, and it's really gonna hold up in my craft room over time and really creates a great, beautiful look as well to store each ink pad and kind of saves on space as well. I've done lots of other ink pad storage units and things like that didn't quite work out for me, but these are really nice because they are large units, but they store tons of ink pads. Hey everybody, I'm doing this as kind of a live stream, so I'm going to see all of your comments as well during it, but hopefully I'll keep it pretty short so you guys can watch the replay as well. But back here are two ink pad storage units. These are the 120 units, so each of them hold 120 ink pads, which is really great. And again, they're that really high quality wood, and they're a pretty great price as well for the amount of ink pads you can store in them. So they've got lots of options on their website. I have links down below in the description where you can get 10% off your first order and to some of the ink pad storage units that I'm going to share in today's video and that I have shared in the past. So also throughout this video, I'll put cards in the upper right hand corner. That way when you guys are watching this, you can look back on some of those, craft room tour videos and also some of the storage videos that I've shared in the past with some of these awesome holders. So without further ado, let's get started. This is how I'm storing my new ink pads, the Simon Hurley Create ink pads. And I want to have them right by my side with lots of tools in them. So this is a great way to store them. And if you guys have most used ink pads, whether they're the Simon Hurley Create ink pads or whatever are your favorite, here is a great way to store them. Awesome, so let's flip over to my craft camera. It's sitting right next to me on my desk, and I'm going to be filming this part, so hopefully it's not too shaky for you guys. I hope it works really nicely. So I'm flipping it over to my craft camera. You guys are gonna see my mess for just a second here. And here we go. I'm going to take this camera down here, and you can see this is the storage unit that I have for my ink pads. So this is the Distress combo storage unit. So it's going to fit my slim ink pads, and it's going to leave a little bit of room at the top where they kind of stick out a little bit. And I actually really do like that because then I'm able to easily grab them and see what kind of color I have right off to the side there. So that is how I store these ink pads. And I got the combo holder with the marker and the refill holder. And for these, I don't really do refills. I mean, I do have refills for my inks. However, I don't find that they're super needed. Because, they stay really nice and juicy for a long time. But if you do use your ink a lot, you're going to need them. But keeping them on hand right next to the inks isn't super important for me because you don't use them daily. But what I do use every single day are these mini ink blending tools. And so I have each one labeled with one color of my ink. So there's 12 colors so far. And those fit right next to the ink pads, right in the little re-inker slot, which I really like. And now I also ordered the marker storage as well. Now this goes really deep down into the container. You can see down there. It goes really deep down there so that it can hold longer markers like the Distress markers. And if you do store it with the Distress markers, you're going to want it on its side because those markers need to be stored on the side like that. Okay, so I'm looking back at your comments. You guys seem to be loving the storage unit, which I really do as well. So for this, I actually removed these pieces in here. So these are removable. And then what I did is I just stuck a piece of paper underneath here that I trimmed down, and then I taped it right on the back there. And that makes it so I can store, things that are a little bit smaller like these. And these are the detail blending tools, which I find that I use often to do some shading and things like that in smaller areas. So if you also do like the Distress blending brushes, that's a great option to put in there as well. So if you want to store these next to your inks, you can totally do that as well. I'll put that off to the side because I can't close it with one hand. But then also in here, I have my archival ink. And I also do have my two embossing inks. And that means that I'm able to easily have these. This is right next to my work surface. So I usually craft with this drawer kind of open, as well as my tools on the top drawer here open. And then I'm able to easily grab whatever's in here, which I really love. So I happened to have the 3-row organizer. I think this holds 36 if I'm not mistaken. So I've got lots of room to grow in here in case if I ever have new colors, which hopefully we will. And then I also have room for my 2 embossing containers in here. So I've got clear and white embossing, which I use very often as well. So I wanted to share this with you guys today. I did share the distress storage unit that I had a while ago with just the reinkers there so I can put my blending tools in it. But having it in a drawer like this makes it super easy to stick your blending tools in. They're going to stay in here really nicely and fit in that drawer really well. And then having your ink pads right next to it. So I use these every day now since they were specially formulated for me. So having them right next to me is really awesome while I'm working. So yeah, I hope that really helped some of you guys clear that up. Awesome. Okay, so I also wanted to talk quickly about something that a lot of people think about these ink pads. Now, a lot of people think you have to store ink pads upside down because then it keeps the inks nice and juicy on the top. But I'm going to tell you right now that Ranger, most of their ink pads in their line, you can store face up like this, and it's not going to harm the ink pads, whether you have them face up or face down. And you can also store them on the side because ink is a suspended medium. So when you take your ink pad out, let me just show you here. So when you take your ink pad out here, and when a stamp or anything presses on that top surface, that is what's going to release the ink onto your surface. It's not whether, you have it stored face up or face down or however like that. It really just matters, that the ink is suspended in that pad, and so when you add pressure, the ink is going to come out. Now, I'm just going to speak on behalf for Ranger's inks. I'm not sure about every brand, but usually on the website, it'll say how they want you to store their ink pads and what is best for their inks. And so for these Simon Hurley Create inks especially, you can store them however you want. Now, I think with Distress Oxides, it might be best to store them just facing up so that nothing moves around in there. I heard that. But with regular dye inks like this, storing them anyway is going to be really fine for that. And again, check the retailer's website and they'll usually have, things on how to store their ink pads right up there for you guys. So lots of information there. So let me quickly switch back to my face camera here. And then I can set this camera down. So that was my ink storage. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing that. Kind of an updated storage for my ink pads. In that drawer makes it really nice, but if you want to, have storage back there or on your wall like this, I always do get them wall mounted. So this unit comes with a really nice wall mount, and on the back they have this kind of slotted system where the piece on the back of the ink pad holder fits right onto here. And so hanging it on your wall is really easy. These do get kind of heavy, but if you mount these into studs, and they're going to hold up really nicely, as this is a really great system to mount it. And so it has this, and it also comes with screws and things like that. So you're going to want to choose the wall-mounted system, and it's, I think, $10 more for that, if I'm not mistaken, but it really is worth it. In case if I ever want to move it onto that back wall or anything like that, in the future, I always have the opportunity to do that. So I do recommend getting the wall mount with your storage system. So that is awesome. I really enjoyed talking with you guys today and sharing my ink pad storage, kind of an updated version of it. I have been gone for a little while, but now it's my spring break that I'm on right now. So hopefully I'm going to be sitting down and filming lots of videos to share with all of you guys. So lots of inspiration coming your way very soon. Now, if there isn't any more questions, down below in the description box, like I said, again, there will be links to where you can get 10% off your first Stampin' Storage order and lots of my inks. There's links to my inks down there as well if you want to purchase those. And there's also links to some of the storage and organization units that I shared in today's video and in the past as well, of some of my favorites from the website. Awesome. Well, I hope to see you guys very soon in another card making and crafting video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video as well, in case if you're looking to organize your craft room or something to update and kind of get more use out of your inks. I find when I switch my inks to this unit and the unit in my drawer and lots of the other units I have around here from Stampin' Storage, I actually really do use my products more because they're organized really nicely, and for me that is a big thing to keep the creativity going and really able to create fast. Thank you guys for wishing me all a great spring break. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Have a great day. Bye.